So hey everybody, welcome back to the show and my channel, Shimmy. Today I'm going to dig into a couple things that I've been kind of putting off or whatever. There's a lot of subscriber comments, some stuff that came in the mail that I'm going to address. I ordered a whole bunch of stuff from eBay, and I'm going to go over a few things that I've been studying and just what I've been up to lately, and a progress update episode, if you will. So stick with me. I'm going to go roll up a joint, smoke one, and this is going to be a very long, lengthy show. So you might want to go get yourself a drink or a smoke or a snack too, because I'm going to take my time. It's raining outside tonight. I ain't going nowhere. I'm not riding the bike, so I'm not in the wet. So it's YouTube time. Welcome back to the Shimmy Show, and I'm Shimmy Cash. I'll be your host for tonight. Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm going to get right into it. Today's topic is JBW, the initials JBW. You can go and Google or search or YouTube this topic if you want to, but JBW stands for Just Be White. Yeah, it's a very common theme in the so-called black pill community, and I've been studying it a lot lately, and I want to talk about it today in depth, because I didn't see any good videos about it, and nobody ever really wants to dig deep down into the nitty-gritty and see exactly how deep this goes into people's psyche and stuff, and how personally has affected me, right? So my name is Shimmy Cash. You guys can Google me. I do a lot of shit. Most people know me as an adult video producer. I'm also a landlord. I'm a runner. I'm a this, I'm a that, but for the most part, I'm Shimmy Cash, and I sell movies, right? Now that you guys know that, as a background, if you haven't seen my show before, I bought some stuff on the eBay lately, some books. This is the Children's Bible in my left hand here, and this is like another edition of it here. I had to buy both of them. They were $16 for these two books. I couldn't believe it, but I had to track it down because this is the book I had from my childhood. It was printed in 1981, I think, Funkin' Wagnalls, and we're going to get into it right now. Let me show you the cover if you guys can't see it. I know the light is a little bright on the camera, but it's called the Children's Bible. Yeah, notice the white man on the cover. I think he's Moses building an ark, I think. And notice how the people building the ark are not the same color as him. So yeah, this is going to get into some very racial issues. I'm going to try my best to not use any offensive language or whatever. I want this video to stay up on YouTube for a while. Everyone knows that YouTube is a little bit shaky lately, so I'm going to try not to ruffle any feathers too much, but I do need to address this because it is crucial, and I don't really have another viable platform at the moment to go and discuss this. So I'm hoping with this video that I could educate a few people as well as myself, and get a little bit of insight of what makes my brain turn and tick. Yeah. All right, so getting into it real quick, the Children's Bible. Actually, before I even get into this, okay, let me talk about this first, okay? I don't read the Bible. I don't even own an actual Bible unless my mom stuffed or snuck one in my luggage or car or something, and she's good about doing these sort of things, right? I grew up in a very religious household. I literally have the entire book of Psalms memorized. I have Bible verses and quotes drilled and beat into my head at a very young age. And what this does to a person is lots of shit, you know what I'm saying? But that was my upbringing or whatever. But as an adult now, no, I do not believe in God. I do not believe in this Bible, this, that, or any other religion for that matter, for the most part. I just believe in treating people fairly, not hurting other people, and just getting through life on easy street, basically. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to be a liability to anybody else, and I try not to take on too many myself, etc., etc. So this book here was given to me probably as a birthday or Christmas gift when I was a very young child, maybe 3 or 4 years old. I would read this book almost every day and night because I believed heavily in God and Jesus and heaven and hell and the devil and all this stuff in the 80s or whatever, right? But I wonder, how much did that belief system actually affect me in adolescence and adulthood, and how much did it actually poison my mind? Growing up thinking the whole time that God is a white man, about 50 times the size of the earth. Now I'm looking here on this page here. I'm going to show you guys the picture. First of all, when was this shit printed? Copyright 1981. I would have been 3 years old. Editorial Advisory Board, Rabbi David Weiss, Congregation Rodolph Shalom, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm not surprised. It's on the front page. I'm not making this shit up. Children's Bible, Volume 1 by Funk and Wagnalls. Anyway, the very first page here. We see the hand. Do we see the big white hand, which is obviously a different color than my own, about to grab the planet Earth like a fucking volleyball? Rah! Rah! I'm God, I'm white. Rah! I'm gonna palm this fucking planet, right? So I grew up with this image growing up as a child, thinking that God is a white man in the sky. And why wouldn't he? He has like a big white beard, he wears all white, and he answers my prayers when I pray on my knees to my white God and master, right? This kind of toxic shit sets the seeds in a child's very impressionable mind at 2-3 years old, and you beat it into their head until they're out of their fucking house. God is a white man, etc., etc. Matter of fact, I don't see a single black person in this fucking book, which is very surprising. Even Garden of Eden, let's see, the so-called beginning for Christians. There's the Adam, Adam and Eve. Eve is a brunette girl. Adam, probably the same, brown-haired people. I saw another book where she was blonde. All right, Cain and Abel don't even look like me in the book. Anyway, this shit is aside from the point. I purchased these books to just go ahead and dig into my past and see what kind of psychological or psyche damage that has actually been done to me and where the roots of it are. People don't think about this shit. As far as the roots of JBW and Just Be White, a lot of it starts in the home with our parents and previous generations. White people have an air of superiority in the West in America because they, looking at things objectively, taking the black pill of reality and looking outside, in general, this is the white people's country. They pretty much own all of the land, resources, industry. You know what I'm saying? It's America, what can I say? Or it's Canada, whoever's watching this fucking thing. But if you live in a Western country, Canada, US, even UK, possibly Australia, etc., I think it's safe to say that white people as a whole pretty much dominate and control the system. And they control the narrative that's produced and published, which means the media, TV, books, radio, everything. God is white. Jesus is white. Your Savior is white. Black people are what? Basketball players, drug dealers, criminals, athletes, actors, entertainers, security guards, etc. And that's our role in society in the West. Whether you like it or not, those are the stereotypical roles that have been more or less pushed upon black people in this society and other ethnicities as well. But in general, JBW is law around the world. So that means if I go to the Philippines, they still think God is white, even though their skin is not. Why do they think this? From a young age, media, books, church, school, and everything reinforces this. So white people have the complexion for protection, and a lot of white people don't realize this. They don't realize the value of their white skin until they're transported, exported to other countries where they're basically worshipped as deities for having white skin. Having white skin, blue eyes, or light-colored eyes, it's a beautiful thing in nature because people have been conditioned to think that is beautiful. Even though blue eyes are like a mutation. It's a genetic mutation that affects less than 1% of the entire world's population. So it will make you think, as I've read, and not as I've read, as I've watched a lot of JBW content, it makes you question yourself, how is it that blue-eyed people have been able to migrate and spread all over the world if only 1% of the human population has this genome? And it's because people consider light-colored eyes or blue eyes to be beautiful. Therefore, these people are always going to have kids and reproduce, etc., and their lineage progresses on. Only for the mere fact they have white skin and blue eyes and these features that are considered universally beautiful. Now, I do not have blue eyes, as you guys can see, nor do I have blonde hair, nor do I desire to have any of these features, actually. I wouldn't mind if my skin was a little bit lighter and my hair was a little bit different or something or other to that effect. Everyone wants to change or modify themselves, and I probably will throughout the course of my life or whatever, but I don't want to go to that extreme or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, white skin is most definitely the complexion for protection in most parts of the world. Even if you, especially actually if you go to darker countries. I've been to places I can think of, such as Philippines, Indonesia, most Southeast Asian countries. Actually, most countries in general, white people are more than welcomed as a tourist class of people and not perceived as a threat, not perceived as troublemakers. And they pretty much get everything handed to them like this. Here you go. Now, when I travel to these same countries, even though I'm a citizen born here in this country and whatever, I don't have the same physical appearance, so I'm obviously treated differently, etc. And it's just life. I have to deal with it. But my question is, why? Why do I have to deal with this? Because the entire world has been programmed by shit like this, and the television and movies and whatever, and all of that is much stronger than most people's brain power or whatever. So yeah, JBW is law. But I'm not W, I'm B, so I'm a JBB, just be black, I suppose, or whatever. Where am I going with this? You'll soon find out. You'll soon find out why JBW is law. A lot of you maybe you guys don't know this shit. I've lived in a lot of countries, for those of you guys who don't know me. If you haven't watched my videos, playing back on my channel, you'll see videos in Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Dubai, China, maybe not Japan so much, but I've been pretty much all over the bubble. There's even some shit from Morocco, Amsterdam, everywhere, fucking everywhere I've been, right? So I'm very well adjusted to how different groups of people treat me in different countries or whatever. I'm not just like a guy that doesn't go anywhere and just picks and chooses random bits of information from the internet and books. Once I learn something or learn about something or learn about a place, I want to go and experience it for myself and see if what people talk about on the internet is true. And if you play my old shows back, you'll see that JBW is law. Look at my experiences when I went to the Philippines before. I did at least 5 videos on this about how I was basically just treated like shit there by people who are exponentially poorer than me. And I would question myself, like, why? Why don't you treat me like another tourist? Why don't you treat me like that other... I did a show about this as well. I landed at the airport in Manila in Philippines, you know. There's 2 lines or whatever, one for, I guess, nationals and one for foreigners, right? I go in the line for foreigners with everyone else, with the other tourists or whatever, right? I'm not treated the same as the rest of them, the white people in line. When I get to the front of the line, they want to see my proof of return ticket, everything, airplane ticket, how long you're in transit for, how long you're staying for, 20 questions, whatever, the whole grill. Even though I have a U.S. passport and I'm a U.S. citizen, the white folks in line, they get their shit stamped and go, stamped and go, stamped and go. Why me? Well, I have a very long foreigner, African-ass, uncommon name, and my skin. I don't have the complexion for protection. So those of you who deny JBW and white privilege, you're full of shit. It's an absolute thing. And if you're white, it's so transparent. You're probably so used to being treated this way throughout most of your life that you don't even realize that you're getting preferential treatment till a nigga like me comes on the internet and tells you this is how they treat me when you're not pink or pale, basically, right? Now, don't get me wrong. There are advantages to being brown and black in certain situations and whatever, okay? I'll get into that a little bit later, but the advantages are actually very few. But there are some, all right? There are some. But I'm not universally accepted everywhere. That's for sure, for sure, for sure. And there are limitations of how far my brown skin can take me, and I'm conscious of this. So a big part of accepting a lot of black pill philosophies for me is to just accept shit the way it is. That way you can deal with stuff on the table. It's no longer an invisible problem, and you can accept it for what it is and move on with it. I've said it time and time again that I'm probably not going to be a very good sumo wrestler, if you can't tell by my physique. I have a runner's athletic, somewhat type of body. I do running and kickboxing and cardio and shit like that. But I'm not going to be a sumo wrestler, not going to be a boxer, not going to be a basketball player, football player, or anything that requires a large width, height, etc., because I'd be at an extreme disadvantage, okay? Now that doesn't mean that I'm gonna give up and not participate or try things out. I'll try shit out, but I don't expect to dominate in a field where I have a huge huge disadvantage. There are no 4-foot or hardly any 5-foot tall basketball players in the NBA that I know of. Prove me wrong. You know, are there any 100-pound football players? Doubt it. You know, so life is really about taking your whatever you're good at and maximizing that. Focus on your strengths and you'll do well. And you'll be happier probably as a result. I'm a very successful long distance runner for 5K and 10K races. So that's what I focus on, and I do good at it, and I'm happy. You know, if you go through life, basically my point is like, if you go through life throughout your life and you find something that you're not good at, or something that you can never actually dominate, win, or even be marginally competitive at, then life kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? You should try your hand at something that you actually enjoy, but also has a little bit of struggle or challenge for you. But in general, people are good at it, or people who look like you, hint, like other Ethiopians such as myself, are good at it. Now, other Ethiopians are good at running and soccer. I'm actually somewhat okay at soccer, though I don't really play it or whatever. But the few times I've tried, people have said, hey man, you're pretty good at this shit or whatever. So it's just a matter of getting in where you fit in, I guess, right? So yeah, getting along with the point or whatever, though. Yeah, JBW. I should be pulling up something on the laptop to, what's the point I was looking at on here? Hold on, let me pause for one moment, please. Pause. Okay, back on. I had to light a smoke up. You know how it goes. So I got the laptop out here, and I'm looking at a video. It's from this channel, whatever, Inkwell TV. It's one of my favorite channels, actually. It's called Blackpill 101 JBW Race and Attraction. It's the video I'm looking at right now on the YouTube here. And I'll just flip the screen around, actually, to show you what I'm talking about. Can you guys see that? All right. On the screen, it's like a actor guy, I think Thor or whatever, something like that. And what the guy's actually doing is he photoshopped the actor with no, it's not even Photoshop. Wow. Okay. It turns out this Hollywood actor actually has brown eyes, such as myself. But for this movie, whatever the Thor character is in, the studio gave him blue eyes, like aquamarine blue contact lenses. And the video goes on to talk about like every superhero, comic book hero, Superman, whatever, they normally have blue eyes. Yeah. So I'm going to play this video right now, and he goes through it all. This video is really great. He just goes on and he photoshops a lot of people. Blue eyes with brown eyes and blue eyes, and points out the drastic difference in them. Yeah. This is such an interesting channel that it provides data. It provides real life proof of pretty much what people are thinking and saying and confirming. Nobody actually wants to admit to themselves that blue eyes are basically considered universally beautiful throughout most of the world, probably unless you have them already yourself, right? It's factual. Blonde hair, blue eyes equals beauty and success, and everything less than that is lesser than. So you guys could already imagine where I fit on the scale with black hair, brown eyes, brown skin, etc., etc. It doesn't matter how much so-called maxing or six-packsing or working out and all this kind of crazy shit that I might do. It's not going to actually improve my value as a man in most people's eyes, actually, because it's like I'm very much so limited by the color of my skin, at least in the particular country that I reside in America right now. Now, if I go over to Europe or some shit, it's a different story. Or if I go to some other parts of Central or South America, people might show me a little more love. But here, nah. And still, even better, or even so, I should say, white people have the upper hand in these other countries as well. I don't really like to keep discussing all this shit, like my life is like some black versus white paradigm, because it's not. But this shit is real, and I have been treated like shit. I have been treated like a nigger for no fault of my own. And when this happens, I want to find out why. Why? Why is it that when I go to Batam, Indonesia, where I've never been to before, I walk outside to go to a Circle K to get some food or something, and I literally stop traffic. People look at me like I'm an escaped fucking tiger walking down the street, like they've never seen a black man before, ever, in their life, ever. Okay? I must have looked like a ghost or some shit to them or whatever, right? No one says anything. No one speaks to me. They just all look. You walk by a store, you walk behind the building, and you see 30 fucking eyeballs just like locked on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a racist place or whatever, right? And it's not, it goes beyond, people, you guys might be saying, oh man, Shimmy, he's tripping. No, they're not racist, whatever. Nah, because you guys know me and you guys know how I party, okay? I've been to what they call these, I believe they call them K bars or something, KTV bars. This is popular in Southeast Asian countries. Karaoke or karaoke bars, right? People go there to pick up girls and whatever too. I go there and the girls do this to me. They put their, like, as pimps would say, they, oh, what happened here? My light just went out. Wow. Okay, we are back on. Lockdown, nigga. This is being silly. I like to have fun with shit, man. All right, so I'm going to continue my story because I like finishing up my stories. I had to charge the light so that I don't look black as a shadow. It's a common known fact. I like to light my scenes up so I don't look like super dark. Is what it is. I like to control my image as much as possible. I'm serious, man. Shit. All right, so let's light this up and tell the story here. I hope the mic is, yeah, I got the lapel mic on and we're good to go. All right, so story time. As this story last left off, I'm pretty sure I was talking about Batam, Indonesia. Yeah, that's what it was, right? Yeah, Batam. Wow. Okay. So I go to some of these KTV bars or whatever. And this is about the JBW thing. Again, this is the same video. I'm just going to stitch these guys together. I walk into a place there, right? The girls literally do this. They cover their eyes with their hair and fasten their eyeballs to their shoes, toes, the floor, whatever. As in, I am not interested in you. Do not look at me. Do not approach me. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get away from me. Whatever. I experienced this in like 4 or 5 different locations, right? So it's kind of like a universal thing that black skin or dark skin people are considered to be ugly or unattractive at the very minimum in Batam, Indonesia. And these are very dark skinned people too. This is mostly a Muslim country too. It's maybe evenly divided, but it's got a very heavy Muslim population. I researched this place and I actually found out that even Haile Selassie himself, the Emperor of Ethiopia, actually visited Batam and gave a speech there. So there have been Ethiopians present there or whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean necessarily that the women will choose you there. JBW is actually the law there. They only accept guys that are British, white, European, or their fellow Muslims or whatever, I suppose, or whatever. But white people and white-skinned people are universally accepted in every single country that I've been to. And served like this for the most part, especially these darker, like Southeast Asian nations I'm talking about or whatever, right? So the experience is factual. When I say that I've watched these guys' videos and, you know, they this and that and read this book and that, I do that, but I still go the extra mile. See, I got the time to travel and shit, so I'll go and fly to these places or some of these same places that a lot of YouTubers have been talking about as the Holy Grail or whatever. You guys might have heard the, you know, like if a white guy goes to Japan kind of thing, he's like a celebrity kind of thing. Well, it's halfway true. It's like in Asia, there's a lot of white worship. In the Caribbean, yes. In Spanish countries, yes. In like everywhere white people have privilege, and they probably don't realize this because a lot of people in the West don't really travel and get out and get to like see this whole other world of people of color basically willing and able and ready to serve, like on tap like that. And I can't get that no matter how much money I got, no matter how much status I got, no matter how much shit that I do, I still can't get that unless people know who I am ahead of time, etc., etc. on face value, that's never going to happen to me. I'm never going to experience that treatment. At best, I just look like maybe some track star, runner guy, sports dude or something. But I'm not important like them, right? You know, I don't get the valet, the butler, the this, the that, the offering, the man on a flight to Thailand. I've seen at where is this place at? Yeah, China. You stop over in China and they have a lounge there, right, for like China Eastern or Air China or whatever. And I've noticed that the white folks just walk in there without question. There were some girls on the flight there with me, right? White girls from America. They went and used the China Eastern lounge, which had showers, buffet, the little like the premium lounge or whatever. Even though they didn't have the whatever, the card or the membership, they didn't get questioned in China because then they basically assumed that white people belonged there in the VIP section, in the skybox, in the whatever that little fucking premium lounge shit is. Without question, without saying who are you and all that other stuff. I can't pull that shit off without a disguise. Yeah, so that doesn't mean though that my life is like fucked or whatever. It just means that I have to have a different angle of approach to how I navigate through life or whatever, that's all. But the JBW thing is factual, and by dealing with it on the table as a real something thing, I can prepare and make plans for it or whatever, that's all. So I've learned that I have to do things that I shine at, that I can master and excel at, and I'll compete in those arenas and I'll be successful and happy, et cetera, et cetera. So that's where I'm going with this whole thing or whatever. But I highly recommend you guys who are interested in my channel or whatever to check out this so-called black-pilled philosophy and this guy's channel. And I guess I'll leave a link in the description, I suppose. That's how people do it these days or whatever. But just look it up or just go and search for JBW. Because it sent me on a string or a path of pretty much contacting most of the content creators of these types of videos. And I actually even got it was a black girl from the States actually wrote me. And she posed a question on her thing, a JBW titled video saying, how come there's not that many black girls in adult video, adult entertainment? So I chimed back and wrote, this for a variety of reasons, mostly for demand, as far as like the type of content that people search for. The black or ebony category is statistically ranked like number 20 or 30 or something. It's pretty much way down the list or whatever. So it's often not profitable to do that niche unless you really, really, really know what you're doing. And I have experimented and played around with that for many years, but no matter how many videos I make or how pretty the girls are, or et cetera, or not are, or whatever you want to argue about the fact, there's still only a limited number of people searching for that or whatever, whereas like everyone in the world searches for blonde and this and that and that, and that's why it's such a more popular niche is what I wrote her back or whatever. And it's just a statistical thing or whatever. People do things to be profitable. They don't do things to lose money with or whatever. I don't like to lose money, and everyone wants to talk that shit until it's like their money that's actually on the table being tossed around or whatever. So that's why it's kind of like a niche market of demand or whatever, you know, like Spanish language content, for instance, you know, or other things or whatever. If you can master and dominate a niche, you can actually do okay. But there's still only a certain narrow window of people that search for specific stuff. That's what I'm getting at, if that makes any sense or whatever, yeah. So anything else more on the JBW topic? I started off about this book here. Yeah, the previous episode I talked about the Bible book, the Holy Children's Bible, and God being white and all the biblical people being white and whatever, and the impact that had on me as a kid or whatever, you know, Adam and, okay, there we go. Adam and Eve, they're fucking blonde. Where are they at? Can you guys see that? They're blonde with fucking, you know, they're naked in Africa. It's hot as fuck. And they're blonde and pink or whatever. But anyway, that's the images that were fed to me as a kid. There were probably no ethnic type of like books when I was a kid to do with, you know, Bible. And if you have religious, Bible-banging, church-going parents and shit like that, then they're going to just feed you all their propaganda, super book and this. And I would ride to school and have to listen to like, books of the Bible songs, and all this doctrine of programming or whatever. And, I guess you can do whatever you want to, I guess, but I'm very much so a free-thinking individual, if you guys can't figure that out by now or whatever. So yeah. So is there anything else I want to add on about this JBW topic? Now, I see. I talked about Indonesia. I talked about Philippines. I've gone through a lot in the Philippines. Yeah, they treat me like dirt there, for real. It's, Filipino Americans and Philippines people in the Philippines or whatever. I'm still a nigger both ways to them. It's very ironic too. It's like, I grew up around them. I like them. I have a lot of Filipinos in my own family, but as far as black people being a part of their world, they are only interested in serving and servicing white people. It's the way it is. Even though there's literally an island named Negroes in the Philippines. It's just, the white worship with them is so extreme that I pretty much tend to basically avoid them, because and that's kind of like a bad blanket statement, but I've experienced enough fucking burnage and burn from enough of them to just not engage for the most part. So traveling the world, I've learned actually there's several groups of people who I just don't really engage with, because I kind of, even though they say you should know people as the individual or whatever, if you've been through hundreds, if not thousands of interactions with a certain group of people, I think you have enough data to kind of see how they treat you, how they perceive you, and if you really want to continue fucking with them, basically, because the world is a very big place. There's a lot of countries you can go to, so you might as well just like go and hang around and be with people that actually like you and accept you, and you have an easier road and path in life. That's what I do. But I've traveled enough to get whatever they call blackpilled about where I fit in at the best in the world and whatever. And it's in a couple different places or whatever, but it's definitely probably not where I'm at right now. but you have to live, learn, and explore and see where you fit in best. And the best way to do that is actually to go to the parts of the world where people that originate from. Most people don't do this, so most people are lazy. They don't like to travel or leave their block and shit like that. So, that is what it is. So, anything else here? Let's pause. Let me go look at my little phone for a minute here, since I have some time. I'm gonna light a smoke up and see what else this episode can entail. Okay, pausing for a break. Pause, pinky pause. Hey, all right. So we're back on. I got the laptop. I'm gonna go through like my comments, basically, since this is like towards the end of the day or night. I don't want to make this video too fucking long, but yeah. All right, so let's see what you guys got to say here. Microphone on. Hope you can hear me all right. All right. Let me spark up and start reading them out, or seeing which ones I'm going to respond to. The first comment is about this guy's talking about one of my videos from a couple weeks ago where I overdosed on caffeine from a Rockstar's sugar-free energy drink. I didn't find that shit too funny, actually. I'm very caffeine intolerant since I'm on a sugar-free diet and shit like that. So, I don't know. Motherfucker says it's over to not death. Death is when your skin turns blue or gray. Yeah, well, nigga, when your blood pressure goes over 240 or whatever and you black out, it's basically death, man. So I've been there. It's actually not as scary as some people might actually think. So don't be afraid of death. For real. Next topic is the, you guys already know, I can't even say the V word on here. I'm not talking about VJJ. I'm talking about that V thing or whatever that the world censors me for even mentioning or whatever. No, I didn't get it. Nah, I don't trust it. And y'all keep asking me and shit. But the question that I want to reverse back to you is, what's in it for you or what's in it for them? Anytime somebody's ever pushed something on me, it's usually for a reason or for some benefit, that usually for them, you know. So I want to know just what's in it for them, what's in it for you, and then we can discuss some shit. But till we can put this on the table and see what it is for what it actually is, the answer is no. You know, just like a girl will close her legs and lock her kneecaps, you ain't getting that pussy. Well, live and learn, motherfuckers. All right. You're talking to a man that doesn't fear death here, nigga. I had 240 blood pressure. I done already been to the abyss and back. It don't matter. We gonna go one way or the other. You guys ain't gonna live to 500 years old, so why experiment with yourself? Would you take free heroin injections? Why are they not giving away free insulin injections to save all the obese people and diabetics and whatever, right? Yeah, so somebody else said on there, Kenopsia, well said, we are not lab rats. Well, I'm not, at least. Next guy, Luis Ramirez. What happened to the pokey business? You're talking about the pokey store in Canada. Well, my lease ran out or whatever, and there's like a pandemic code gray, code black, silver, and checkerboard lockdown stage 5 and shit going on right now in Canada. So the business is shut down or whatever. My kids were helping me run it and whatever, but you know, it is what it is. The store got robbed and shit. There's a lot of fuck niggas in that neighborhood or whatever. But, you know, I'll probably open up another business or whatever, or reopen at another location in the future or whatever. So, yeah, that's what happened to the pokey business. But, you know, I still make poke bowls. It's all good. What's the next one on here? We're talking about the rules book. That was a really hot topic. It still is actually one of the most popular videos on my channel about the rules book by, was it Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider? I did a review of it and how I'm like a 20-year case study of what actually happens when good, bad, and ugly, when people fake and shit like that. So this person writes, if you decode the book, it's essentially to give the fake impression you're not needy, though you might be the last, the shitty thing on the planet. First of all, rules should become authentic, not needy. So yeah, it's just, okay. Next comment or whatever. But that's a popular one on the channel. MAAGA, make ancient Africa great again? Africa's not ancient. My dad's from Africa. I'm half Ethiopian myself. My DNA test just came back too. I got to do a show about this because it's really cool. Maybe that should be one of the next topics for the shows. But anyway, my ancestry DNA, I'm 50% Ethiopian, 49% West Central African, and 1% England. So yeah, that's what I'm composed of or whatever there, for those of you who are wondering. But I'm going to put the other thing on there with my traits and this and that. It was a really cool, you know, I recommend you guys do that DNA shit for real and see if there's any other close matches or whatever to your code or whatever. Yeah. I'll be posting more about this. That's a little bit later. All right, next one. Some more videos about the girls. Yeah, I know. Everyone wants to see girls on my channel. I realize that. So shit. You know, you guys don't want to fucking see me talk or whatever. Fuck. What else is new on the comments box? I'm a full-blood American Indian with records tracing back to 1850, Cherokee County, North Carolina. Free inhabitants with a national ID and certificate of identity proving I'm an American national and my ethnicity is Cherokee 100 from the U.S. Department of State. Native Americans are East Asians and Indo-Europeans mixed, not the true American Indian like me with reddish brown skin, aka red man, aka ruddy, same complexion as Shimmy Cash. Okay, cool, man. Whatever you think. I don't actually care. You guys don't have to like prove anything to me. I just made a point that I've noticed while in Thailand, Southeast Asia, people there look very similar to Native American people in America and Canada. That's all that I was saying. Is that they're basically the same genetic group of people. Probably if you did a DNA test, just like me, you'd find out you're not from America. Somebody else wrote it on here in their words. I like the way they put it. They said that Native American is just a political identity, just like African American is a political identity. Genetically, you're Asian. Genetically, I'm an African, 99%. Test your DNA. It costs like $40 on eBay. I did it. All right, next videos. You're in the car not running. I thought black people don't like the cold. Yeah, you know, but I got kids in Canada, so I tolerate that shit. When you have family, you'll tolerate it. You know, you can adapt, man. You know, whatever. And again, black people. I often refer to myself as a black man. My DNA test says I'm 50% Ethiopian, 49%, you know, Central, West African, 1% England. I just repeated myself. Not all black people are the same, is my point. Ethiopia is kind of like a highland area, mountainous area and whatever. And, you know, I wouldn't even exactly classify my dad as black, even though he might want to be considered as such. You know, he's like that Judge Joe Brown nigga, all that civil rights shit. But ethnically, he's like a 100% Ethiopian and I'm 50%. So, you know, black is a relative term. What else? This person, who are you? Kenopsia. You keep writing on all comments. You got to be a girl. It's probably a black girl. I don't know. Got a picture of a wolf. Looks like it ate a bonsai tree or something. I think. I don't know. Why don't people just use their real picture for their profile picture? I don't understand all this avatar icon shit all the time. That's some ugly part of Canada, huh? Well, it's relative. If you like trees, no. If you like waterfalls, it's, you know, it's beautiful. Ugly is relative. I happen to have my store in the heart of Cracktown downtown, but, you know, that's not an accurate representation of the country or city, I would say. Not really. What other video? Black men are athletes and entertainers by default. Same person, says Kenopsia. Not intellectuals by default, though, right? I never said that, and I never professed to be a smart guy or whatever. You know, I'd have some video on here where I'm talking about my 117 IQ. That doesn't mean I'm a smart guy. It might mean I'm smarter than the average guy on paper, book smart wise, but it doesn't actually prove or mean anything. And, you know, the tests are subjective and relative to whatever countries and shit you're in. I mean, some people with very high IQs here don't know how to grow their own food. They'd be fucked in another country or in another situation or circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So intelligence is relative, and, you know, it's too bad they don't judge or gauge people on their actual survivability skills or whatever here, you know, for when shit hits the fan. All right, what else? Kasparov, I love Indian girls. Thank you, sir. Fan base, are you still open? No, the store is not open, Luis. Eli Escalante, 95 and 108. They're so tiny, referring to the girls. I'm 12 and weigh 135 pounds. You're 12 years old and you're watching my YouTube channel. You're commenting on a video that says, does a girl's weight matter? Should you ask how much a girl's weighs? And those are actually video girls. That's Sarah Lace and Viola Ray. They're Filipino and Honduran or whatever, so they're small people anyway. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what, you have a Spanish name too, so you're small. But you're 12 years old, man. Why are you watching this channel, man? Shit. Play PlayStation, man. Enjoy it. Not true at all. If you read it, you didn't understand it. Well, it's very possible that I read the book and didn't understand it. Live happy. You know, maybe you have a higher level of understanding than me. Me with my small Negro brain, I wasn't able to process the book, the rules, the way that you were able to appreciate it. So maybe you could enlighten me how I didn't understand it. Tell me, please. Show me, demonstrate. I want to notice things. All right? That was a comment on the rules book video. Do you ride around Thunder Bay bumping Selly Cell and E40? I try not to, you know. I try not to. I have an Outkast CD stuck in the car and it plays on repeat or whatever. I don't have a Bluetooth or none of that shit in my other car. Whatever. They'll steal it or whatever. Thunder Bay people, fucking thieves. Can't have nothing there. All right. Does the city of Denver confuse you with one of the Milli Vanilli brothers? No, but I have heard that before. So yeah, just factual. Get it. That's right. Get it, people. Don't let that shit slide. I totally agree to a point, you know. There are actually quite a few Ethiopians in Canada, including in Winnipeg. Ethiopian food is pretty good. Yeah, but it's expensive, and they usually tax harder than need be for injera and kutfu, and they're basically giving you a burrito tortilla with some spicy meat on top of it and charging you $30 for it. Maybe a little bit of cabbage on the side. You know, come on, guys. They made this shit for like $1. Ethiopians are known to be a little shisty like that. You know, they overtax and overcharge. Maybe I'm not any different, but at least I fess up to it, right? I admit to it. What else? Ask any taxi driver, yeah, or airport worker. It's the opening song in the Cocktails album. We ride around Winnipeg listening to this shit 26 years later. Yeah, you know I play me that Too Short, though. I do stay on me some Too Short because I'm from Oakland. What else? This doesn't work on a narcissist. Nothing will. This book gives you a generalized idea of how men think. It's really for girls who chase guys that don't get how men... There's more comments on that same book video on the rules. They love that video, or they love my video on that shit. What else? Asking me questions about models and... this guy's weirdo, racist. Yeah. Okay. I've seen and heard enough comments. There's nothing that seriously caught my attention and needed to be addressed. In other news, there was some, what do you call those things? I shut down some of these like GoFundMe campaigns the haters had out there for, we're going to shut this guy's website down. And this, I want to let you guys know, if you want to shut me down or attempt to, there's a proper channels to go through that. If you go the street route, the quasi-legal route, as a lot of these people have done, and I'll tell you where they fucked up at. Anytime you start doxing me and whatever, it's really a bad idea because I don't really hide my information anyway, but anytime you start doing that and like posting my personal information, pictures of my kids and shit and this and that because you don't like me or you don't like some movie or something I said or did, all you gotta do is just contact the people who are running the GoFundMe or the Go Help Me thing or whatever and just tell them to shut your shit down, as I've done. And they'll do it instantly because I'll just tell them I'm forwarding this to my counsel and they can deal with it. So if you got a problem with me or something, you need to deal with me personally or email me or somebody, and there's like proper channels you can go through this shit. This like anime reverse blackmail shit that people are trying to pull off to make a name for themselves, it always backfires on them and their accounts get shut down and stuff like that. So I've been playing this game for a really long time. People are always, you're always trying to shut me down. It doesn't matter, you can. I'm gonna allow it and I'll just reopen shop again. Just like you guys will see another Pokey Pokey, etc. in Canada, etc. I mean, it's like you can shut me down temporarily, but I'll just go open up shop again. As Gucci Man says, Trap House 3. So yeah, that is the comment section, and this has been another episode of the Shimmy Show. Again, that topic, I strongly suggest you guys search for it, JBW, Just Be White. It's just like some shit I've been on lately to get some answers, and I got a lot of clarity from looking through it, and your comments and whatever are welcome below. As you guys see, I talk about, I go through my comments. So whatever, I'm at like, I believe 400 subscribers or something right now, and I'm at the point now, I don't really care if people like the video and all that other shit and whatever. I'm just doing this or whatever. But when I do hit 1,000, or at least 1,000, I'll be able to push the live button on my phone and I could actually like interact and bang out this shit in real time. So one day, whenever that happens, I'm sure eventually enough people will discover this little thing I'm doing, and I'll be happy to interact with you people in real time or whatever, all right? I'm Shimmy Cash. Thanks for watching. If you want, you can Google me and support me by buying my other movies and shit like that. I'm a real cool motherfucker. I've got over 1,000 movies. Just look me up. All right, and I'm out of here. Thank you for watching.